Hi again, it's Alcantar on Accents. I'm Tony Alcantar. I am hired as a dialect coach, which means I'm on set for film and TV shows. I help actors learn dialects, accents, so that when you watch the movie, you can say, yeah, I believe they're from that place. I believe that's so.
I believe it.
So, you send me information, emails, you write in the comments, Tony, I thought this was pretty good. What do you think? Or, Tony, this was terrible. What do you think? So let's dive right in right now for this week's show. What about Mary Poppins, the early 1960s, I think 1964 film? What about Dick Van Dyke? Wasn't that horrible? Well, we're going to listen to it, and you might be surprised about what I think. But let's take a look at this performance.
Oh, what, ladies and gents, comical poem, suitable for the occasion, extemporized and thought up before your very eyes. All right, here we go. Room in for everyone, gather around. The constable's responsible. Now, how does that sound? Hello, Miss Locke, I got one for you. Miss Locke likes to walk in the park with Andrew. Dear Miss Persimmon.
Yes?
Winds in the east. Mist coming in. Like something is brewing, about to begin. Can't put me finger on what lies in store. But I feel what's to happen. All happened before.
You have to understand, he's not doing a bad job at this thing. He says, he's happened before. Happen. So he knows that. So he's not bad on that. He's dropping his R's now and then. Sister, right, mother, mother. He's doing really nice on the THs with this and that. And he said something where he changes that TH to an F.
Miss Locke likes to walk in the park with Andrew.
Which is very working class or Cockney or, underclass British accent. And they set him up character-wise to be this jack of all trades, master of none. He's an artist. He's a showman. The issue really is this. Is this production trying to make him more than simply Dick Van Dyke from the Dick Van Dyke Show? I mean, look at him. He's clean shaven. They want him to be recognizable as Dick Van Dyke, as a top actor of his day. So this production is sort of indicating the accent. It's indicating the character, but it's really Dick Van Dyke. He's doing a version that still makes him recognizable as Dick Van Dyke. That's the selling feature of this movie. So technically he's doing some things that are right on the money. The issue is he looks like Dick Van Dyke and behaves basically like Dick Van Dyke from 1964, which is what they wanted. They want this guy. They've got a clown. They want Dick Van Dyke with his physical comedy, with the light dressing of something else. But let's look at this for really what it is. Look at the bright colors. This is a comedy. It's got music. This is not Les Mis. This is not realism. This is our light version of fill in the blank. It could be The Jungle if it's The Jungle Book. This is a stylized 1960s representation of the year and the goings-on of 1910 in England. It's a light representation.
An edifice for first greets the eye is the home of Admiral Boom. Later his
The Ohm of Admiral Boom. The Ohm. He's got that right. He's dropping that H. Exactly.
Majesty's Navy. Likes his house ship shape he does. Ship shape and Bristol fashion at all times.
He likes his house. He likes his house.
What he's famous for is punctuality. The old world takes its time from Greenwich. But Greenwich, they say, takes its time from Admiral Boom.
Okay, I mean, he's, again, look at him. He's Dick Van Dyke. He looks like, take off his hat, and this is the Dick Van Dyke Show. So they got what they wanted. He's not doing a bad job. He's technically doing a really good job.
What's here, Admiral?
Good afternoon to you, young man. Where are you bound?
Number 17. Got some parties here in tow. What wants to see it?
Enter that in the log.
Aye, aye, sir.
A word of advice, young man. Storm signals are up at number 17. Bit of heavy weather brewing there.
Thank you, sir. Keep an eye skinned.
I mean, he's talking to a real Englishman. That was the guy who was, his name escapes me. He played Ebenezer Scrooge in A Christmas Carol. So this guy's no dummy. He's no nobody. He's from England. That guy's from England. He matches up against him. Okay, but again, look at that face. He's Dick Van Dyke wearing a thin veneer of London-ish, 1910. However, the background is fake. This is basically like a play. And it's a kid's show. It's a kid's show. It's a children's show. What do you expect? So let's listen to his accent against her.
Mary Poppins, you look beautiful.
Do you really think so?
Cross my heart you do. Like the day I met you.
Cross me out, you do. He's right.
You look fine too, Bert.
I thought you said there was a fair.
So I did. Down the road behind the hill, remember?
So I did. Behind the hill, not the hill. It's technically good. This is Dick Van Dyke being a light kid show version of Now I'm From England. But don't forget, they want everyone to remember, this is Dick Van Dyke from that TV show you like. Don't forget it. He's not going to immerse himself in the role. This is not Gary Oldman, where it's like, that's Gary Oldman? I think the problem is, what we do is we take modern day judgments and try to impose it back. And then we shake our fists and say, why weren't they like that back then? It would be like taking a Model T or a Model A Ford around the racetrack and going, why doesn't this thing handle as well? What were they thinking? Well, think about the day in which that thing was made. Traffic was much lighter. People drove slower, etc., etc., etc. Let's stop being snobs about this thing. He's not bad. He's not bad by those standards for sure. Even by today's, he's not bad. Okay, here he's up against Mr. Banks.
It's that Poppins woman. She did it. I know the very person you mean. Mary Poppins.
Now again, look at him. He's supposed to be all dirty and smudged up. I don't think the part in his hair has changed. He's in his 90s now for 70 plus years. This is Dick Van Dyke. That's what you're going to get. And he's great. He's very talented. But again, this is the image of, again, look how bright this townhouse or this home, 1910. Did everyone have electricity that was so bright everywhere? This is very typical of the mid-60s. It's like Batman from 1966. Everything was so bright. It said comedy. The read was, this is not real. This is our version of. Okay, let's keep going.
She's the one what sings, a spoonful of sugar, that is all it takes.
Sugar, all it takes. That's exactly right. Sugar, all takes. You know, this would be a passable sound in the 60s and even in 1910. Tykes. It's a little Aussie, but so what? Where do you think the Aussies get their sound?
It changes bread and water into tea and cakes.
See, that's exactly what I mean.
Water. He could have said water, but he's singing, and you get a little bit of a leeway when you're singing.
Changing bread and water into tea and cakes, indeed. No wonder everything's higgledy-piggledy here.
A spoonful of sugar goes a long, long way. Have yourself a healthy helping every day.
Have healthy helping.
And healthy helping a crumble if you ask me.
You know what you did? I realize it.
Ask, if you ask me. Well, you know, what do you want? He's saying it.
Now, she tricked me into taking Jane and Michael to the bank. That's how all the trouble started.
Tricked you into taking the children on an outing?
Yes.
Outrageous. A man with all the important things you have to do. Shameful. You're a man of high position.
You're a man of high position. That's what he would say. But again, look at that profile. That's Dick Van Dyke. He's not immersing himself in the role. He's just being a guy talking like that. I don't know, guys. I think for what I see, from what I hear, this flies under the radar. I think people are just exceptionally cruel, possibly even snobbish, to try to gauge him and this entire production, which won Oscars, was nominated through the roof, is an all-time classic for all the things up to and including his performance. He does a fine enough job. If he says to himself, I didn't do so good, okay. And check out this interview on YouTube. This is the actor who played Mr. Banks. Listen to what he says about the Cockney accent Dick Van Dyke does.
Walt said to me, will you give him a hand, you see? And I arrived a little after Dick had already shot a day or two on the film. And I thought he was very good, actually. It's a very difficult thing for an American to speak Cockney. Easier for a Cockney to speak American.
Yeah, it is.
Something. And Walt said, what do you think? And I said, I think he's doing very well.
Listen, tell me in the comments below. Send me an email. Tell me what you think. You can disagree with me. I'd like to know what you think. Again, I give him a pass. Let me know what you think. I'll see you on the next Alcantar on Accents.